Hi, this is a quick video to demonstrate how we can do while loops. To, um, to demonstrate it today, what I've done is I've created two classes inside the same package, and I've called it dice game. So the dice game consists of dice that you roll, and the goal is to basically see how long it takes, how many times you have to roll the dice until you get double ones or snake eyes. So to do that, we have to have dice. So I've created this class called die, which is singular for dice. I'm not actually suggesting anything should die. And when you roll a dice, what you're most interested in is the face value, right? It's the number that comes up on top. And in this case, I'm just going to use a six-sided die. So the numbers all have to be between 1 and 6. So when we use our constructor, we're going to use a random object, and I just called it random number, to give us the next integer. And really what's going on here is I'm saying, give me the next integer. I want 6 different random numbers. And it starts counting from 0. So it's going to give me a number between 0 and 5. So what I want to do is, I'll add 1 to whatever the number is. That's going to give me the range between 1 and 6. And that gets assigned to the face value in the constructor. We have another method here that just gets the face value. So in it, all it does is return face value. And then our last method, pretty much identical to the constructor, but this one's called roll the die. In this case, we use, again, a random number object, and we're going to get integers between the values of 1 and 6. So let's look at our dice game. So in our dice game, we don't have anything in our main method yet, and I've created a method down here that checks for snake eyes. So that's the condition where both dice have a value of 1. And the way that we do this is we pass in the dice object, or the die object. And what we do is we get the face value, and if it's 1 in the first one, it'll check the face value in the second one, and if it's also 1. So if both of these are 1, the if statement is true, so it returns true. If either of these is not 1, it will return false. So let's go up here and create some dice. So there we've instantiated two new objects called die1 and die2. These are our dice. So we can look at the value of our dice with a simple print statement. So we're going to use the methods that we defined before, die2 get face value. And it's complaining because we need this to be printf. Okay, so in that case, my first roll, I got a 5 and a 1. If I were to roll them again, I got 2 and a 6, a 6 and a 2, a 3 and a 6. So you can see I could keep doing this and manually figure out how long it took me to roll snake eyes, or I could have the system do it for us. In this case, we'll create a simple counter. I'm just going to call it count to snake eyes. And I'll initialize it with 1. Now, what we've learned so far in the course, we could use a for loop, something like this, int I equals 1, I is less than or equal to, I don't know, 1,000, increment by 1. And in here, we could check for the condition if we have snake eyes, and if we do, break out of the loop. But that's a pretty messy solution. On the one hand, we have the situation where breaks, whenever you use breaks, it's not a clean way of using your logic. And two, more importantly, what happens if we actually never got snake eyes after 1,000 rolls of the dice? We could theoretically have that situation because it's random. So this isn't ideal. So a better solution for this is to use a while loop. So the while loop is really simple. While some condition is true, right? Do stuff in the loop, right? So in this case, we want to keep rolling the dice as long as we don't have snake eyes. So what we can say is, while not snake eyes. And we'll pass in our dice. So remember, our method down here, it's going to return true if both dice have a value of 1. So if either of these dice doesn't have a value of 1, it's going to return false. Not false is the same as saying while true. So it will keep doing this loop until this returns true, in which case it'll say while not true, which evaluates to false. So it's like saying while false, and it will stop doing things in the loop. So if we don't have snake eyes, then let's roll the dice. So I say die 1, roll dice. I can do the same with die 2. And then I'm going to increment our count. So there you'll see that this will basically do it. It's going to keep counting until we get snake eyes. So I'm going to print the results here. Okay, let's try our program. So in this case, we managed to get snake eyes in 3 rolls. I'm going to add a little better punctuation here, and we'll try it again. This time it took 4. Getting pretty lucky. 2, 20, 17. So you see, every time we try the program, we're getting different results. And that makes sense because we're using a random number generator. So we should see different results each time. And we now have this really nice construct called a while loop that will, while a condition is true, it'll keep repeating the activity inside the braces. And it creates a nice way of doing this type of program. I hope this helps you. Thanks. Bye.